Top of the morning to y'all. So this weekend revealed some big things for you and I, and I want to break this down into like two different things here for you to understand and to really take note. First off, there were several of you who were taken advantage of, and unfortunately you don't know how much you were taken advantage of because you were lied to in the beginning about why it was so important for you to vote early. So how does this actually play out? The Biden campaign and the Democrats basically were pushing for people to vote early in several different states without really actually telling you what the real platform really was. And unfortunately for you, you might have been somebody in Ohio or Texas or Pennsylvania or somewhere in the Midwest, even here in California, who thought that, yeah, this guy is about, helping the people and stuff like that. But then when you go to the last debate last Thursday, you actually saw who he was and what he was willing to say and do to try to cover up what's actually going on and what he's been involved in for quite some time. And then the last statement where he was talking about removing oil and fracking, I mean, the guy basically has been going back and forth on this whole issue for quite a long time. But the whole deal was just to shine you on, to make you believe something about him that wasn't true, and then to give you this impression that he really is somebody that is there for the nation instead of an agenda of social justice and the establishment. That's what you were taking advantage of. See, as long as Kamala Harris and Joe Biden don't tell you what's going on, because remember, they were capping their campaign and their interactions with the media pretty early in the day all last week. They were doing that on purpose because they didn't want you to really know what they were about. And so you would just vote for them just because they've got a D behind or by their name. That's what they wanted. See, I want you really to really grasp what this is. Maduro did the same thing, as did Hitler, as these people who were socialists, who were communists, who hid what they really truly were about, as long as they were able to put on a good face. This is why so many black people left the Democrat Party after Obama, because they realized that the guy wasn't really what he said, and he wasn't doing what he actually said he was going to do. He did something that was very different. And so you were taken advantage of, and I can tell you stories of where I was taken advantage of when I was a kid, and I learned some pretty hard lessons. But as an adult, you have to understand and know that when that stuff is done, it's done on purpose. And the reason why it's done on purpose is because their ideas need to shade you and shade you away from what's truly behind these people and what their real drives are. But that's what this is about. And I actually saw this video recently. Somebody sent me a video of George Soros talking about Donald Trump and how he's the most dangerous person for this whole idea and this method and use of globalism. And the reason why he's the most dangerous person is because he's waking the American people up to the truth about what the globalist agenda really is. And that's to decentralize this nation and to put it into an economic position of servitude to other nations like China or Russia, and to make them subservient to Iran. And unfortunately, that's really what this is all about. It's about global power and making the global elite, making them basically the new monarchy. These people feed on that kind of stuff, and it's really unfortunate. But here's the last point, right? That's really important for you to understand. As this is happening, as people are waking up to this, there is an undertow happening right now where folks understand that there's really a different agenda happening here. And what's good about this is that people who weren't awake before are awake now. People who just thought this was about the Democrats versus Republican are really realizing, no, this is an establishment versus actual Republican democracy. This is what this is about. This is why you have so many Democrats leaving the Democrat Party, because they see how far left it actually shifted. They see how distorted and how deceptive these people actually are, to hide what you're actually about, to hide what you're doing, so you don't have to address the public via your media interviews and stuff like that by Joe Biden that's keeping stuff quiet. That wasn't about trying to get ready for a campaign. That's just keep quiet what he's actually was doing. And Trump played it freaking masterfully. I mean, he let Biden just basically walk himself into those corners, which was hilarious, really. But also was scary, and it was telling, because the folks who actually voted for him early, they got taken advantage of. The people who have waited, who are just kind of trying to wait to see what's going to happen. You people are a little bit smarter in this, but you need to understand that the Democrat Party in Pennsylvania and Nevada, here in California, and other states as well, are willing to do anything to win this election because they have no choice. They have no choice but to win, because everything that they've been doing behind the scenes will be unearthed. Everything that they've been doing behind the scenes will be shown to the public, and everything that they actually are about will be exposed for all of us to see. You have to win by all costs. It's what these people have to do, because if they don't, they'll be exposed for what they truly are. And you have to understand what the depravity is behind all that. And the average American is not about that stuff. The average American looks at child sex trafficking, that looks at, issues within our government, that looks at the capitalist versus communist socialist agenda, that looks at the ability just to go down the street, to travel when you want to travel, to go outside your house when you want to go outside your house, to see and visit your friends despite a pandemic, despite what people are telling you about your safety and all that. Folks want to have freedom. That's what our nation's about. It's about our freedom. But there are people out there that are afraid of freedom. They don't like that you have freedom. They want to control you. And so they'll do anything possible to make that happen, including steal elections, including use voter fraud in all different types of forms, including to suppress the vote. See, everything these people are trying to say that the Republicans are doing, they actually are doing. They actually are the ones that are doing it. That's called a massive projection. It's a psychological term. It's a massive projection. And you need to know these things, because you don't want to be taken advantage of. You don't want to be the victim of somebody lying to you, and then you find out too late that what they were doing was manipulating you. And that's why so many black people, so many Mexicans, so many folks who are gay, whatever, are looking at the Democrat Party and saying, I don't want to be manipulated anymore. And yeah, this dude who's orange, he might be super brash, he might be super abrasive, he might say some of the wildest crap, but that dude, he's not what these other people are. The Democrat Party left a lot of people. And it left a lot of people hanging because we thought they were about something, what they turned out to be about. It turned out to be something completely sinister. And socialism, communism. Socialism is basically the open door for communism. And that's where you and I lose everything. We lose our freedom. We lose everything. And so me as a Christian guy, I'm telling you this because I just want you to understand that you have a choice in this. And I don't get mad at people for whatever way that they vote. I just don't, okay? But what I do is I just want to give you the options and show you that there's a different and a better way. There's a better way to all of this, because if you don't understand that you have a different choice in this, you don't have to abide by the Chelsea handlers out there that will tell you if you're black, you're black, you can only vote a certain way. You have to go by the stars who will tell you, oh yeah, you're oppressed and you're a victim. You don't have to go by all that stuff, because you can actually make up your own mind. And when you do, be proud of it. Be proud that you can have your own thoughts about things. And don't let two people try to tell you that you owe them something because of what you look like, where you're from, how you were raised, and the like. This is the United States of America, and you have freedoms to choose, you have freedoms to make up your own mind, and you have the freedom to think for yourself. And this is what I'm encouraged about. You and I are waking up, folks are waking up, but you need to pray, okay? You need to seriously pray, because the forces aligned against this nation across the world are astounding. And these people, they have to win to keep up their global agenda, to hide the things they're doing behind closed doors, and to keep secrets those things which are secret. The people, their kids, who are involved in these things, they cannot let that information get out, because the folks on that couch will reject it. And the people on the TV, they'll try to do everything they can to hide it. Seriously, keep your eye on the ball. Don't get turned to the side by these weird stories coming out. Understand, there are things that people need to hide, and they're trying to do their best to do it, to hide everything. Take care.